Hey, welcome to the MC Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Anstey. My co-host right here is Kyle Heath. This is the show where we cover the last week's gaming industry related news. We're talking new and upcoming games, technology innovation. Uh, what's the other one? Esports and personalities. We got a little bit of personalities every now and then. So without further ado, Kyle, what are you up to, man? How's it been? How's your week? We haven't
So
really chatted too much, I don't think,
yeah,
other than like just sending each other articles of like, yo, you see this?
I know.
That's pretty
Especially
much
last week.
it.
Especially into last week, it
Yeah,
was bussing.
it
Yeah, I
really
don't know.
was.
That's the thing. It's like a lot of life stuff going on, so it's kind of not too much else other than
Agreed.
that. I mean, for me, game wise though, I have been grinding Power World still. Still kind of heavy into that. I'm close to late game, so it's like one of those things. I don't know how much more I kind of have left, um, but yeah, I mean, I checked the other day, and we're talking like I think it's like 52 hours or something like that. And at this point,
Whoa.
like it's been hardcore. Like I'm just
That's
like any free
crazy.
time I have, I'm dedicating to that right now. So,
I
um,
got a coworker that's doing the same exact thing.
yeah.
He's been staying up late at night, getting very little sleep, and doing nothing but play Power World. I got another buddy who said that like his pals started a union against him or something. Or like we're getting ready to
Nice.
because he was working them so hard. It's wild.
It is wild. Yeah, the game is nuts. I do like it's one of those things, man. Like there's been multiple times because I'm playing with my boys. So there's been multiple times where we just like stop for a second. And we're just like, there's a lot of like this is just a good game. Like it's kind of crazy. We haven't had like a good survival game style in like a while. I feel like so like this is just like
Yeah.
there's so much they do right. Obviously, there's still a lot to fix, especially on console. I hear consoles like the worst performance of every like of
Oh
versus
no.
PC and stuff like that. Um, there was we don't cover it today, but I did see a news article that Xbox actually on Xbox Wire they put out an article today, explicitly saying that they are working with Pocket Pair, the developer now, to actually like push for these patches and improvements
Good.
across the Xbox platforms. And I'm sure probably Game Pass will see some of those fixes too. And I'm hoping Steam, like the way they kind of worded it, it seemed like they were very much focused on their kind of infrastructure. But I'm hoping that especially someone like the PC related fixes are looking to do will kind of the build will carry over to Steam as well because there's definitely things that they can improve on. But I
Yeah.
mean, I think the product that they released is like, especially on PC, is very solid, honestly, and I think it's kind of a good. They have a really good foundation, and just a couple of a couple of bug fixes, a couple of efficiency improvements. I think game will be really something, and they're already talking about once they get kind of the major stuff fixed, they have already discussed their roadmap, right? So it's like they already have a plan of kind of what they want to do feature wise whenever the game's in a kind of more stable state, I guess. So, um, but it's a testament too to how good the game is because there's a lot of people that have been dealing with like crashing issues and just instability, but they still like play a bunch of the game. They still find workarounds, right? Um, that's how you have something good. I feel like so. But yeah, it's I don't know, dude. It's a solid game. Still playing it. Hoping to kind of finish late game this week. Um,
Oh,
and
that's
then
good.
and then hopefully if I finish late game, we can move on to I can move on to some other stuff. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's really cool too. Like I discovered a bunch of features that the actual world features that you can customize. Just out of the box, there's a lot of stuff you can change. Whether it's the EXP rate you get, whether it's kind of how many pals spawn in the world versus like how
Oh
many you
wow.
keep at a time, and there's like even stuff where you can change the day night cycle time to make day night quicker or slower. You can enhance pretty much. There's like fine tune for a lot of different difficulties in this game, whether it's fighting pals, the damage you take, the damage you give. Like, there's a lot of tweaks and adjustments you can make to the game itself right out of the box, which I think is really sick. It's something that most survival games I feel like don't
They
like
don't really
have
have
the
that.
amount of
Yeah.
customization. So like they really nailed it with that kind of up front. So and I definitely want to like experiment with kind of because you could essentially do like a 5-10x server if you wanted to, and just kind of make the leveling super fast, so you can just kind of get through the game a lot quicker if you don't have as much time. So I mean, I think there's definitely I think there's ways that anyone can enjoy the game really with kind of the amount you can customize it and make it something that is either easily digestible or super hard and extreme survival if you're kind of into that thing. So there's a lot I discovered there's a lot you could do just out of the box to kind of make it more to what you want. So pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah. Sounds pretty cool. I think I've only played about an hour into Pal World, and then I I got a little bit distracted and decided to switch games, and I've been playing nothing but the finals. But I have
Yeah,
buddies of mine that have been playing Power World nonstop, like I mentioned, like my coworker has.
yeah,
And some of the stuff that's been going on is just absolutely insane. It's crazy how it's like completely taken over gaming, it seems like.
yeah. It's been a
Everybody
while, yeah,
has
since we've had a game
played
like that.
it, and yeah, it's really cool to
Yeah.
see. It's always
It's
good to see a game just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it's a solid game. But yeah. I mean, honestly, Mike, I would recommend if you're trying to get into that game, you could probably do like a faster approach. Like if you make a world, you can even adjust after you make it. Of like just kind of tweaking some of those settings to make it a little bit quicker if you feel like it's probably too slow paced, because it can certainly be a grind, even on just like regular difficulty. Um it's
So
can be a
you can
while.
speed up the pace, and then after you get to a certain level, you can turn it down.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what you're
pretty
saying?
much. I mean, yeah, so
Oh wow.
those settings are customizable throughout the entirety of the world's life cycle. So if you
Okay,
want to
yeah,
speed
that's
things
very
up,
unique,
and
I
then
think.
yeah, so
Yeah.
like you don't have to have it set. Like the XP rate, you can alter at any point. So if you want to get more or less, like that's
Oh,
interchangeable at any point. Because like right now we're like 80 or 90 like days into this world, and I was like checking, and I sure enough I could like go in and tweak pretty much anything. But
shoot.
although
Okay,
most of
yeah,
the stuff I
this is
left,
new to me. Yeah.
but yeah,
That works perfectly for me because it's like that might work even better for some of my friends that just don't have time for gaming anymore.
yeah,
Where we have to like literally schedule it on a calendar with all of us.
right,
Like, okay, we're gonna
yeah,
get on this set time once a week. We'll just
yeah,
max out the XP.
yeah. I mean, I
Just
was
rank up
because
as
like
quickly
yeah,
as
I mean.
possible.
Because like we're trying to get one of our buddies to play and he doesn't have as much time to game, and I was like thinking about like maybe just getting like either like a dedicated server of some sort or just creating a
Yeah.
world that's like hyper speed essentially, like not too crazy but like enough where we could get like a decent amount of levels in one session without having to come back multiple days. That's kind of how we're
That's
doing it
really
now with
good.
this normal difficulty. But yeah, you could really make it your own, which I think is pretty sick and not really like talked about much, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into that. Thanks for sharing. I had no idea, like at all.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. But yeah, that's I mean, outside of that, I don't think I really touched many other games this week. That was kind of it. That's been my world right now recently. World. um,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, but yeah. But you, Mike, you said you playing the finals. Played a little. Tried Power World at least. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much that's all I had going on. I took a couple of days off here and there from actually gaming, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's really been the finals. I thought about streaming everything. I think I talked to you about this. I was trying to do like multi-streaming for everything. Then I thought to myself, what's the sense on streaming and just like you basically have a low viewer count because you don't have a big following in terms of gaming streams and stuff?
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just have fun, play the game like I always play the game, and just try to like always record the gameplay, but then create highlights of what I think is the most entertaining until I get some type of following
Yeah.
in the gaming sphere. And then I can have anytime somebody like subscribes, likes, or whatever. And when I go live, it's more reach. Like the correct formula, I think, is to branch out through YouTube Shorts, through TikTok, and I was actually talking to Spartan Boomer, friend of the show, previous guest,
Yeah.
and he was talking about how Instagram is going to be the next big live streaming platform. He thinks, and how YouTube Reels have changed something very drastically to make it similar to TikTok. And I don't use Instagram pretty much at all.
Same.
So,
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I mean,
yeah, so I'm just going off of his word. And he was saying it's just like the vertical format, that the vertical plugin for OBS would be perfect now for streaming on Instagram Live. And I think that's pretty interesting. So, something for I think anybody that's into content creation might be wanting to look into further.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, Instagram's never really been my thing. I'm not one to like
Same.
take many photos, like post like photos much. So
Yeah.
it's just not really been of interest to me, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, I could certainly see how the reels like have probably a decent impact though, especially that vertical sort of format.
Yeah, very true. I mean, for me, I probably should use Instagram more because I take photos like all the time. I just don't post them.
Yeah,
Like when I take photos, it's really just for me. Like I have an entire like all my stuff is categorized on like trips that I go on, and I just like to look back every now and then. And I really try, especially because I travel to national parks whenever I can, or just like national forests or
yeah,
state parks and stuff, and just finding the right camera angle to like take a little quick little snap. It's always fun. Um, nothing as like it's kind of like a hobby.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not anything that could be like professional though. I don't have like a real camera or anything like that. It's mostly grabbing one of the new smartphones and just being like, go take a quick
I was gonna
picture.
say, you didn't mention this. This man officially upgraded to modern day with a brand new
Yeah, dude.
smartphone.
Yeah, 6-year upgrade from LG, which they no longer make, to the wild and true Samsung S24 Ultra. And
That
this
thing
is the
looks so
clear
nice.
case. I got a screen protector that was delivered today, and then I got a boomer style case because with my devices, like I have another Samsung tablet right here,
Yeah.
and I tried to get two different cases, one for like convenience, so like something plastic, silicon, something like that,
Yep.
um, for easy. But if I'm going out, I got the other case specifically because it's like it's a bifold case, right? Where you can put
Yeah.
cash in it and then a couple of cards.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah.
there's the technology and innovation of the podcast episode right there.
Yeah.
New phone, it's awesome. 6-year upgrade, so it's like it's kind of hard for me to really judge.
Yeah. It's like
Give
night and day, right?
Oh,
It's like one of
dude,
my
it's
iPhone, bro. It was like a
insane.
4 or 5 year upgrade, and it felt like a different world.
Oh,
It's
dude,
insane.
the multitasking is so wild. So I've already like categorized everything in the phone, but I like who uses Facebook Messenger anymore except for my boomer friends that are in my fantasy football group. But you know how like Facebook Messenger has little bubbles and stuff?
Yeah.
Apparently on my phone I can do that with every app.
Oh wow.
So I
Pretty
have
cool.
my Discord app, my Messenger app, my actual messages app, like the normal one. And I think I sent you a screenshot. I had two of those open.
Yeah.
And then I had YouTube playing in like a small window on the screen, and then I was taking notes with the stencil. It's like, dude, this is insane. Like that
Yeah.
is 4 or 5 different things going on all at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, that's pretty
Pretty
nuts.
wild.
Yeah, that multitasking's crazy. I know what you're talking about with the bubble things, but the only reason I know is because I used to have an Android, so
Oh
like
yeah.
my buddy had an Android, so I saw it. Yeah, but Apple. Yeah, we have like I mean, we got widgets, a couple updates. I guess like a couple iOSs ago, but that's
Oh,
like
okay.
it's
So
kind of like we don't really have. I wish we had something like that where we could just throw a bubble or something up, kind of have that
yeah,
notification. But yeah, we don't. Apple doesn't really have that.
yeah. I guess for maybe I mean I feel like definitely most people have Android Apple phones more than
Yeah,
I think
probably.
Android.
Yeah.
I think in terms of work, if you're going to get a work phone, it's usually an Android.
Yeah.
I think. It
Yeah.
depends on the company, of course.
I mean,
But
yeah.
if it's tech, it's usually Apple. But yeah. Anyways, so what I was going to try to say is like describe what the bubbles are for
Yeah.
the people that have never used an Android, and it's
Yeah.
essentially just like minimizing your app, but it floats it on your overlay. So it's like always up front. What's called like up top on the layer, so you can click on it and it's like a pop-up window and you can like
Yeah.
text and do whatever and then close it and it'll just stay there. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I can actually probably show it.
It is
Yeah,
pretty sick. Don't lie.
yeah, I actually have two of them open right now. So it's like Discord's
Okay,
here
yeah.
and then my messaging app's right here.
Oh, nice.
So it's like I can just grab this and move it
Yeah, move it
wherever.
wherever. Yeah, that's sick.
It's really
I like
cool.
that.
Yeah,
Dope,
so
so
nice.
dope.
Very, very convenient. Yeah, that's hopefully that makes me more efficient of grabbing news that I find interesting. And
Yeah,
speaking of news, I'm excited for the first article
yeah.
because we're also
True.
leaning more into technology and something that I'm actually really excited you found
Yeah.
because that means I'll finally have somebody else to play Clone Hero with.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, we have good old IGN here. That's Taylor Lyles reported at IGN. There is a brand new wireless guitar controller that is coming out in 2024, which is kind of crazy to think about. I feel like we haven't had a guitar peripheral in quite some
We-
time.
Forever. It feels like.
Yeah, yeah, it certainly does. But PDP is actually the manufacturer releasing this. It's a new wireless guitar controller that works with Rock Band 4 and eventually Fortnite Festival, which I think is kind of the main thing. Like their harmonics is involved with Fortnite now.
Very, yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
so Yeah, after teasing something last month, PDP officially announced the Riffmaster, a new wireless guitar controller releasing this spring. The PDP Riffmaster has two configurations, one compatible with the Xbox X, Series X, S, and Xbox One, while the other works on PS4 and PS5. As you can see from the images below, at first glance, it's similar to plastic guitar controllers made at the height of Guitar Hero and Rock Band's popularity, but a closer examination reveals some noticeable changes to the formula. Most notably, the Riffmaster has a thumbstick behind the guitar, a ambidextrous design, a 3.5 millimeter audio jack, and a promised battery life of 36 hours on a single charge. Riffmaster's disassembly, meanwhile, is pretty unique. Instead of detaching the guitar's body in a long neck to create a two-piece teardown, the Riffmaster uses a foldable design that makes it easy to travel and store. One piece that can detach the controller is the pick guard, which will likely come with mini designs, allowing for some customization. It's a nice touch considering the way some Guitar Hero and Rock Band players put stickers on their controllers for personal flair. PDP Riffmaster will be compatible with two games, Rock Band 4, which released its final DLC last week, and Fortnite Festival, once Harmonix releases an update that allows the game to support Rock Band guitar controllers. When the update does arrive, Fortnite Festival will significantly benefit from guitar controller support, as this free-to-play rhythm game is controller and keyboard only at the moment, making it feel odd to play. Fortnite Festival is just Rock Band on a gamepad, and it's a little like playing a light gun game on an analog stick.
Yeah, very weird.
It works, but it doesn't feel like quite the right way to play it. One of Taylor's colleagues wrote in a review. He scored it a 4 out of 10. Oh man, that's rough. But
Fair.
PDP has not yet shared the price for the Riffmaster, but the controller will be released sometime this spring. And there's also a little video that IGN did of kind of showing off the guitar. Looks pretty sick. I like the design, the body, and like the black. Oh, I think it's really well done.
It's. I bet you every single like Guitar Hero, like Rock Band, anybody that still plays any of those games, including Clone Hero, is got to be excited right now. Probably excited and nervous.
yeah, that's true. Yep, very true.
Because it's like finding Guitar Hero controllers or these types of guitar controllers is pretty difficult to find. And if you do find them, they're used, and they usually cost over $100. And maybe the whammy bar is busted. So to see a modern controller come out, and this guy is pretty confident, just tossing it around and stuff. Yeah. It's it looks nice, man. It looks very customizable too.
Yeah, it looks well done, and I think what's nice about it too is like the quality of life changes they did. Like they have like the foldable neck, so you can compartmentalize it better. They have the thumbstick on the backs to make navigation easier in menus, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
And just kind of give it that freedom. What's nice too, and he talks about it here. I mean, there is a wireless dongle that comes with it since it is wireless. And that dongle is actually stored under the pick guard. So if you rip up the pick guard, it's kind of slot for the dongle, so you can keep it all together.
Oh, nice.
So like really cool things like that. I think that just make this controller really nice. It is like the only thing I will say is it is the Rock Band style, which I know growing up I tried both Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and like I always loved the feel. Yeah, I always loved the feel of the Guitar Hero one compared to the Rock Band one. So I'm curious to see how the buttons feel on this controller. But I mean, I'm just excited to see a new guitar peripheral because, like you were saying, I mean, it gets harder and harder to find kind of the older ones, and if you do, they're expensive. So, like I said, I think I may have sent you a picture, I may not have sent it, of like the guitar controller I found at like a local game shop, and like it was the same one you have pretty much, like the white one, the old Xbox one, and they had it for like $100. And I mean, it looked in good like shape, but I was still like $100. I mean, I guess that makes sense. So. It's kind of cool to see that, but yeah, I'm really curious to see kind of how this thing feels and kind of more reviews of it. It's at least this initial impression is looking promising, and the fact that the guitar uses USB-C to charge it, so that's the kind of makes you think like, oh, maybe you could just like USB-C cable into the PC and maybe it'll work. I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting.
It depends, right? Yeah, because like they are data cables, so it should work. But if it's configured for a power cable, then there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I think all wireless devices should be able to be wired, though.
I would think so, right? I mean, that's just kind of my fault. But yeah, I don't know. I really hope this thing works for Clone Hero, though. It'd be kind of a bummer if it didn't. So I'm kind of hoping that it does, but I guess we'll see.
I think there's no way it wouldn't, because if it's one partnered with Xbox,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like that's the new rule now, which is pretty interesting how it's wireless. That's only like a
Yeah.
recent thing where Xbox is finally allowing proprietary information for their wireless setup to connect to their consoles.
Yeah.
But just having that ability to connect to an Xbox means it can connect to a PC. And then if it can connect to a PC and function, I'm sure that the guys at like Clone Hero, because I'm pretty sure it's like an open source program,
Yeah.
I think with like a bunch of different I don't know exactly how their development scheme goes, but I bet they're capable of getting this controller to work on their device or their game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would hope so. But yeah, it's I don't know. I this got me excited, and I can't wait to see the price and hear more about it. But yeah, I mean, a new guitar controller is like I think it's always welcome. So it's I'm excited to see more about it.
Yeah, it looks very, very clean. I'm excited too.
Yeah,
Well, it was good to see something new come about.
always good.
Oh, what do you think the price point's gonna be?
Oh, that's a good point. I was thinking about this earlier. I almost expect 100, but I would like it to be like 70, 80. 70, 80 I feel like would be good. But I don't know.
69.99.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um,
Um,
but yeah, I don't know. I suspect for probably like 100. I don't know. What do you think?
uh, it's I don't know how they're gonna do it because, like I said, I can go to the local Goodwill here, and they have a specific gaming section, like an entirely different scenario for Goodwill and donations. All of their Guitar Hero controllers, including the Wii version and the PlayStation version, are like $115 to $125. If you look on eBay, they're about $125, but those are all like used,
Yeah.
and I think they cost that much because it's so rare to find them now.
All right.
Most
Yeah.
people tossed them out. So I don't like it's hard to say is PDP going to go this route of we're going to provide a quality controller at a reasonable price, maybe half the price of what you can get a used Guitar Hero controller, or are they going to just match the used price of the eBay version, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can't necessarily doubt it, and they would do something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I need to go to your Goodwill though. You saying you have a gaming
Come on
section at
through.
your Goodwill? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
yeah, there's
I-
a
It's
think
crazy.
about it like what was it? Not GameStop, EB Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
EB Games was a little bit different because it was more about like peer-to-peer trading in a way.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of
I
it was
vaguely
like a little
remember
media.
EB, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, man. There's a
Yeah.
lot of old tech in there. Like, dude, I bought 100-foot Ethernet cable. I think it was a Cat 5, and it was like $5 or something.
There you go. Yeah.
So it's like, like just going there because it was donated in the first place, and you're helping out Goodwill,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like it's a win-win, I think.
Dang.
I also don't know the history of Goodwill and if it's actually a good company. I just assume it is. So I just know
Yeah.
there's deals, and unfortunately, the people that work there actually know the value of the things that they have.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but
So,
yeah, the Goodwill's the gaming section of Goodwill. We don't got them down here, so I gotta go over there. Sounds like.
oh yeah, come on over, man. We got two towns that are living in like 2004. We got PlayStations, like OG PlayStation, OG Xbox, early Nintendo stuff. It's kind of wild.
That sounds
Yeah.
dope. But yeah, I don't know. We'll hear more about this guitar soon. Though, like, see if I actually live up to the price product. Dude.
Yeah. Releasing sometime in the spring, so we'll keep an eye out for that. I'm looking forward to it, and reviews. Reviews. I
Alright.
think the price is going to matter
Thanks.
more than the reviews,
Yeah, I
honestly.
know. Yeah, that's gonna
Uh,
sway me more for sure. But
yeah,
we'll see. I'd like to get this, so hopefully, if it's not too crazy,
yeah.
I can check it out. But yeah, you know who else is checking out AI?
Okay. This one actually comes from Engadget, and it ties directly into what we were talking about last week about how we don't know if there's going to be any type of crackdown on AI in general. So, the title of this article is The FTC is investigating Microsoft, Amazon, and Alphabet's investments into AI startups. The companies have 45 days to respond to the agency. Better, better lock it
Yeah,
up.
better lock it in, dude.
So, the Federal Trade Commission is launching an inquiry into massive investments made by Microsoft, Amazon, and Alphabet into generative AI startups OpenAI and Anthropic. Is that right?
I think it's
Anthropic?
Anthropic, I think, yeah.
Oh, you're right. Anthropic. See, I'm a numbers guy. So the agency announced on Thursday, the FCC said that it has issued compulsory orders to the companies and would scrutinize the relationship with AI startups to understand their impact on competition. By the way, this article is coming from Pranav Dixit, I think is the name,
Yeah,
over at
I like that.
Engadget, senior editor. All right, and the article goes on to quote the FTC chairman Lena Khan in a statement. History shows that new technologies can create new markets and healthy competition. As companies race to develop and monetize AI, we must guard against tactics that foreclose this opportunity. Our study will shed light on whether investments and partnerships pursued by dominant companies risk distorting innovation and undermining fair competition. The companies have 45 days to respond to the agency. Ever since OpenAI released ChatGPT at the end of 2022, generative AI has exploded, sparking both excitement about its potential to increase productivity as well as anxiety about job losses. Against this backdrop, the world's largest tech companies have been racing to develop their own versions of the tech, as well as pouring billions of dollars into smaller startups creating it. Microsoft, for instance, invested more than 13 billion into OpenAI for a 49% stake, using the startup's tech to add generative AI capabilities to Bing, its own search engine, as well as Windows and Office. Amazon and Alphabet invested 4 billion and 2 billion respectively in Anthropic, an AI startup that makes a chatbot called Claude. Is it Cloud?
I
Cloud
honestly,
or
I
Claude?
was trying to think. I don't know if I've heard of that, to be honest. Claude?
I've actually heard of it only because I was feeling incredibly lazy and wanted to make a thumbnail, and I was like, AI generative thumbnails for YouTube, and then one of these showed up. Yeah, but I've never used it though, to be honest. Okay, so continuing on, there is an opinion column in New York Times last year. The FTC's Khan wrote that the expanding adoption of AI risks further locking in the market dominance of large incumbent technology firms and argued for AI regulation. Well, well, come on. You're the head of the FTC. Just regulate it then.
Just do it. I don't get
It's an
it.
opinion piece. Maybe we should do it. I don't know. Oh, jeez. Obviously, they don't work alone. It's a commission. So, as part of its investigation, the FTC is seeking information about the specifics of Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet's investments. Alphabets. It's about to be
Oh,
Alphabets.
Alphabot. I kind of like that though. You
Yeah.
segue.
Alphabet's investments, decisions around new product releases, oversight rights, analysis of market share, and potential for sales growth, among other details. The US isn't the only country examining big tech's ties with generative AI startups. The UK Competition and Markets Authority said last month that it was examining whether Microsoft's investment into OpenAI was subject to antitrust law. Sheesh. Do you think they're a little bit too little too late? Like, I think we've opened up Pandora's box and there's not much you can do now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Um, I think possibly it could be a little too late. But also, it's just like, I mean, yeah, it's definitely at a point now where it's like it is getting pretty cool. Some of the stuff that like these programs can generate. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I will say, dude, I it would be so funny if we could just literally like take where AI is now, especially with images, and just keep it that way. Because like the amount of funny, weird looking slash nightmare fuel you see around the internet of just AI
Yes.
generated images is like hilarious to me. So it'd be nice
It
if
is
it
kind
stayed
of like
this
a
way, but
perfect,
uh,
yeah, it's kind of like a perfect meme tool.
exactly, yeah.
It's like
Um,
having a big troll moment.
yeah. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna. It's gonna get better and better. It's artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's pretty funny right now. I mean, in terms of, I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know. I think it may be hard to say. I mean, I think is there not much they could do now? I mean, they could probably like regulate it some more. I mean, in terms of like the AI itself, though. I mean, assuming kind of
Yeah.
how those could get out of hand. I'm sure whether it's like an algorithm or whatever or whatnot. But and that may still keep going. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's interesting. The CMA is kind of looking into that stuff. Like I feel so familiar with the CMA now after we covered them over the
Yes.
Activision Blizzard stuff. It's like how kind of close they keep to these situations. So I'm kind of curious to see what they come up with. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I think for the people that are overseas, they might not understand, but like the FTC in our realm, like in the United States, is kind of a joke. I
Yeah,
feel like
like
it
it's
always sides with the corporations and never with the consumers, which
yeah,
is kind of, yeah, it's kind of sad in some ways. And I think the European Union and UK is a little bit better than ours. I think they're going to eventually turn into the FTC, just like
the
kind of
global.
an opinion. Yeah, it's going to go that route. But I think the European Union and the changes that they're able to implement and give some type of critique to seems to be leading the way forward in terms of like consumer protection. And in this case, it's more of like employee protection, and because the AI is coming for your job, it's coming for my job,
Yeah.
and it's not cool. Like, dude, I'm seeing more and more on YouTube AI generated voiceovers, AI generated scripts, AI generated like videos in terms of like actual editing and cross stitching of different stuff on the internet. Like I'm watching and I'm just like, dude, this is like the information I would be very much interested in, but the moment I hear the fake AI voice, I'm like, dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I'm out. Like you lost
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's like this would have been such a good topic, but now I hate it because I don't
Yeah.
like this person's voice. Or it sounds terrible, like poorly edited and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the trial version.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to like that stuff. I'm kind of the same way. It's just not it
Yeah.
doesn't really like like right now you still notice pretty much right away. Um
Yeah.
there's some like images I've seen where like it'll take me a split second to register. Like I think we're getting to that point. But yeah, I mean still a lot of it's kind of just like, oh yeah, it's definitely AI. That's funny. I mean, yeah, the voiceover stuff though, like it's pretty crazy. Like I saw something like I realized it was AI pretty quick, but like speaking of voices, it was essentially like someone took like Patrick Mahomes' voice and like deep faked it,
Oh yeah,
tried to like talk
deepfaking.
trash on one of
Yeah.
his teammates. And it
Yeah.
was like I listened to it for a split second. I was like, okay, it's definitely not him, but that's pretty
Yeah, the
funny.
lips don't match.
Like,
Like, yeah.
like
Like
yeah,
that's good in it's good in terms of like making it obvious. It's kind of like remember when Twitter, like Elon Musk being an idiot, basically allowed anybody to buy a verification badge,
yeah,
and then people started making parody accounts, but they weren't, and they were just on there trolling and stuff. Like
yep,
stock prices were plummeting, so then he made a rule that you had to notify people that it was a parody account.
yeah,
It's like I could see us trying to do something like that with AI, like having an AI in each social media platform that when it's AI generated, which they can detect, it gets automatically like branded
yeah, it gets
as AI.
flagged. Yeah,
Yeah. So like people can still watch it, of course, but maybe you let them like people need to know, I think.
yeah,
I think it's really important that people understand that what they're
right.
getting is a bot.
Yeah, I think I think the best thing about Twitter, it's hard for me to find stuff about Twitter I like now, but like probably the best thing about Twitter is the community notes. But that's like from the
Oh,
community. That's not even like from Twitter.
oh yeah.
So it's like people trying to regulate some of the posts and whatnot and like inform
Which is
people
insane,
what's
by the
fake.
way.
Yeah.
Which is
Um,
insane. I don't think that should ever exist,
yeah.
but especially on like a true or false statement,
Yeah.
like that needs community notes. Really,
Yeah.
like people like
Like
the Earth
obviously
is
it's
flat. The Earth is in fact round. Community notes. It's
yeah.
like what?
Yeah, some of them are funny. Look, they're not batting 1,000, right? But like the point is
Right.
like it's we're at that point now where I think like intervention either from AI or like other people to just like flag stuff is like, oh, or just let people know, by the way, this is not real.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely important. Um but yeah, uh I don't know. I'm not gonna I was gonna sit here and go down the Twitter rabbit hole, but we'll stick with the article. All right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to bash Twitter for 30 minutes, but yeah, I mean, I think I think we're curious to see kind of if there's any findings that are relevant enough for the FTC or
Yeah.
another governing body to kind of do anything about. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see kind of how this turns out. I have a feeling it probably wouldn't turn out much, but who knows? Maybe they hit on something. I don't know.
Yeah. True. Yeah, it's definitely worth looking into, and it's actually a good thing that they're going to do some type of investigation to at least. I mean, you can say what you will about the FTC and how they regulate things, but usually their investigations will actually have some truth to it. Whether or not they care is a different matter.
Yeah.
Um, but it could be informative. And I don't know, should I just go ahead and wrap up the remaining 3 paragraphs here?
Yeah. Let's do it,
So
dude.
for the viewers. So continuing back on, we are at, if I'm correct, we're at in a post. Yes. In a post on X, or formerly Twitter, in December, Microsoft's president Brad Smith characterized the company's OpenAI investment as a partnership that has, and in his words, that has fostered more AI innovation and competition while preserving independence for both companies. Microsoft currently has a non-voting observer seat on OpenAI's board, which, said Smith, was very different from an acquisition. We hope this is actually from Brad Smith. We hope the FTC study will shine a bright light on the companies that don't offer the openness of Google Cloud or have a long history of locking in customers and who are bringing the same approach to AI services. And no, that's actually from a Google spokesperson told Engadget. Continuing on, the US has assumed a global AI leadership position because important American companies are working together, says Rima Alali. Alali?
Like
I
that.
think it's Alali. Microsoft's vice president for competition and market regulation. And continuing on, they say partnerships between independent companies like Microsoft and OpenAI, as well as among many others, are promoting competition, acceleration, innovation, accelerating innovation. I'm struggling with the words right now. And they look forward to providing the FTC with the information it needs to complete the study. AKA, we're going to provide you with the information and get off our backs. Leave us alone. That's usually what
Yeah.
that means. So,
Yeah.
yeah, basically, that's the take from Google and Microsoft representatives, essentially saying that's how we feel about OpenAI. This is how we feel about the FTC investigation. We give them all the information they need.
But you know,
So,
GG's to your jobs. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, pretty much. That's essentially what's happening right
Um,
now in a lot of the tech industry. Um, Nothing but layoffs. And who are we talking about right now in the AI, open AI situation, layoffs? None other than Microsoft.
yep. None other than Microsoft. Ladies and gentlemen, we hate to say it, but Microsoft laid off 1,900 staff from its video game workforce this past week, from following their $69 billion acquisition from Activision Blizzard. Microsoft is cutting 1,900 staff from its video game workforce. Sources have told IGN. It's Wesley Yinpool reporting this. In a message to staff viewed by IGN, Xbox boss Phil Spencer said Microsoft will provide full support to those who are impacted during this transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. IGN has asked Microsoft for comment. The layoffs came following the $69 billion acquisition of the Call of Duty owner Activision Blizzard and the exit of its controversial former boss Bobby Kotick. Microsoft is currently worth more than $3 trillion. Second company to even break that threshold.
The
Here's
one being Apple, by the
Apple.
way.
Sir. As part of the process, this is a statement. Well, it's a statement from Phil Spencer. His memo. It's been a little over 3 months since the Activision Blizzard and King team joined Microsoft. As we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our growing business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we are aligned on the best opportunities for growth. He goes on to say, as part of this process, we have made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles out of the 22,000 people on our team. The gaming leadership team and I are committed to navigating this process as thoughtfully as possible. The people who are directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important part of the success of Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, and the Xbox teams, and they should be proud of everything they've accomplished here. We are grateful for all of the creativity, passion, and dedication they have brought to our games, our players, and our colleagues. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with respect and compassion that is consistent with our values. Looking ahead, we'll continue to invest in areas that will grow our business and support our strategy of bringing more games to more players around the world. Although this is a difficult moment for our team, I'm as confident as ever in your ability to create and nurture the games, stories, and worlds that bring players together. Oh man. As part of the layoffs, too, Blizzard Entertainment president Mike Ibarra announced he was leaving the company. That was kind of part of it too, and we actually talk a little bit later about the person replacing him. However, that's kind of I think a majority of at least that statement portion. There's even more. I mean, like, the Communications Workers of America apparently released a statement about it, and there's a whole thing. But yeah, I heard I heard there was some people I think that sort of I would say like maybe predicted this almost with this acquisition of obviously when there's acquisitions like this, especially big ones, it can oftentimes be followed up by reduction. However, this is kind of just the climate we're in, right? I mean, everyone's seemingly everyone every company's affected at some point by this. So I think it's kind of two storms that just kind of collided together. I mean, 1,900 staff, that's a lot of people. So
it's no joke.
Definitely a sizable reduction there. Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Mike? Does this surprise you? What's your kind of thoughts?
Yes and no in a way. It's weird because Phil Spencer and the rest of the Xbox team, when they went through the acquisition processes, they were saying that there really wasn't going to be a whole lot of layoffs. That at least they were going to try to minimize the amount of layoffs. Maybe this is their version of minimizing, but 1,900 people is a lot. And I know that's something that like Microsoft said, Xbox said, and most companies that are acquiring another company will say to be like, "Oh, this is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna stay on board. Nobody panic," kind of thing. But time and time again, at the end of the day, months later, maybe a year later, there's usually layoffs to get rid of um, what would you say, like deficiencies in a way?
Redundancies.
With redundancies. That's way better word. That's the one I was searching for. Um, Thank you. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what's happening here. We don't know for sure which positions were really let go. We can only kind of infer. They were saying like certain departments, in
Yeah.
terms of like studios,
Yeah.
but they're not really saying the number of engineers, the number of
Right.
maybe marketing. Maybe this is just only business or managers.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely there's been spurts here and there about different groups that have been laid off. I know there was an article we didn't include today, but it was talking about the physical game division of generating the physical game, stuff like that. There's actually a decent amount of that was
makes sense.
part of these. They're cutting back on physical releases, which is kind of the writing was on the wall there. I think for a little while now of just digital only releases, and Hellblade, Senua's Saga being the most recent example that's coming out digital only. So yeah. And, we talked about it last episode. It sucks that physical media is kind of dying out, but
it kind of started with Alan Wake, Alan Wake 2, and now it seems like this is what's going to happen going forward.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Do you want to own your games, Mike? I thought so. You know what I'm saying?
I want to own my own games, but the problem now is you have to be connected to servers, so it doesn't even matter.
You get a license, Mike. A license. You get a key. So you're paying money for the key, so you get the game.
Yeah, by the way, the key is the disc, and then when you use the disc, you have to download it to your hard drive. By the way, did you know we only have proprietary information for our hard drive, so you have to spend another 150% more than what you normally pay for extra storage? It's come on, man. At
least PS5 does it right. At least PS5 does it right. M.2, little NVMe, just slip it in there.
That's a fact. And I recently saw a YouTube video from one of the many content creators I watch in terms of OG modding, soft modding stuff. Somebody jailbroke an PS5 and there's underground development for it, and it looks amazing. And obviously it's pretty early in the scene, but this could kind of make PlayStation 5 the much better console by far. And not just in terms of the first party. What's it called? It's not proprietary. You know what I'm talking about? It's it's only on that console. Exclusive, thank you. I'm struggling right now. Thank you. Yeah. So that just makes it even better.
Yeah, listen, dude. All I'm saying is you're soft modding your PS5. Better not connect to the internet. and log into your account because that thing would get nuked. Are you kidding me?
100% IP ban, hardware ban, like OG days.
Man.
Let's go.
Banned. Yeah, I saw little side note too. Saw a YouTuber who bought as a joke. He bought a PS5 off Wish, turned it on, it was banned. It was crazy, and I'm pretty sure he spent like almost full price for it. Banned. It was nuts.
It's
crazy out here. Be careful. Don't buy stuff off Wish, especially electronics.
Well, I know people that have been getting scammed, meeting people like face to face, like from Craigslist or eBay. It's like it's crazy. I couldn't imagine like ripping somebody off face to face like that.
Yeah, that's savage. That's way too savage. I'm sorry.
It's like, bro, you're gonna look me in the eyes, shake my hand,
in the eyes. But
say, let's do business again. It's over.
Bro. But also another side note too to mention, part of these kind of layoffs and stuff like that. The most recent addition to that was Blizzard essentially just eviscerated the esports division. So I think it's down to 12 people from 72 or something like that. And there's a bunch of people that I saw posting, I think it was on Tuesday, that it was Monday or Tuesday that they were getting let go. So it was a bunch of tweets and stuff I saw for that. And it's a lot of those people worked very heavily on Overwatch and Overwatch League, and now that's kind of just I think that's probably why they just got rid of them, which stinks. I mean, a lot of those guys are amazing casters, so it sucks.
I absolutely have a ton of comments to make, and I think we'll do it in the next episode, next article, because we're actually going to be talking about who has replaced Mac Ybarra.
Mike,
my own name. Jeez, man.
Mike Ybarra. Ybarra. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm sorry, Mike.
All right, this article's coming from the source. It's coming from Blizzard Entertainment. So the title of the article is introducing Joanna. Is it Faries or Fairies? Because if I'm her, if I'm her, I'm saying Fairies, but I think it's Faries. Or
Faries makes sense because if you think about it English wise, far first three letters, ease is the last three. So Faries.
Yeah.
Or again, I don't like English because exactly.
It could be Ferris.
I don't like English because it could be a different pronunciation. But hey, you sound it out and break it down. My 3-year-old brain's like Faries. I don't know.
Wait, dude. I have a Google Translate. Let's see. Listen. Google says fairies. Google says fairies. Right, that's all we need to know. I got to give you the plugin so you can highlight it, right click it, and pronounce it.
True.
So you can do that for everybody that's just listening. And,
right, you're right.
Okay. So this article is actually going to be written by the incoming president, Joanna, and it's essentially her announcement that she's taken over the helm. And I looked up a little bit of the bio on her, and I'll fill people in after we read some of this.
I think you made a tweet about it. I could be wrong.
I did.
That's my guy.
I made a tweet about it.
I don't think.
No, it's. And it has entirely to do with her background of where she previously worked for 12 years. So we'll get into that. I don't know if she mentions in this because honestly, that was 5 years ago for her. Yep. So that's like a lifetime. I wouldn't really mention a job I had 5 years ago. Well, anyways, so the article starts off, or it's really a letter. Stop calling it an article. So the letter goes, "Dear Blizzard." This is to Blizzard employees, by the way, and has been published on the website. "Dear Blizzard, though my official first day with you all is February 5th, I want to let you know immediately that it is an honor to join you next week in this new capacity. I do so humbly and in awe of all of that Blizzard has stood for and delivered to the world for over 30 years. Today also brings some mixed emotions. The loss of talented teammates in recent days is hard to hold side by side with the immense excitement I feel about joining Blizzard and bulking on the momentum you've created for Blizzard's next chapter. I want to thank Matt for the introduction, bring some further clarity to today's announcements, and share some more about how I see our future together at Blizzard. I understand that it is a lot to take in. The news of my appointment may no doubt bring up a range of reactions, questions, and even concerns."
Oh my god.
She knows.
That paragraph. Oh my goodness. Okay.
She knows. Okay. Got to respect it. I mean, she got in that position for a reason.
Yep.
So Activision, Blizzard, and Blizzard and King are decidedly different companies with distinct games, cultures, and communities. It is important to note that Call of Duty's way of waking up in the morning to deliver for players can often differ from the Sunny games in Blizzard's realm, each with different gameplay experiences, communities that surround them, and requisite
Requisite.
requisite
Yeah. Requisite
requisite
models. Yeah.
models of success. I've discussed this with the Blizzard leadership team, and I'm walking into this role with sensitivity to those dynamics and deep respect for Blizzard as we begin to explore taking our universe to even higher heights. I am committed to doing everything I can to help Blizzard thrive, with care and consideration for you and for our games, each unique and special in their own right. I'm optimistic about our ability to serve our current and future players' communities and to further amplify the shared passion for greatness, polish, and creative mastery that is the hallmark of Blizzard's approach to game making. Next week, I will be in Irvine, and I am eager to connect with many of you as possible. I'll be scheduling informal and totally optional meet and greets where I want to hear more from people across the organization. Those of you who cannot make it to those gatherings aren't located in Irvine, please feel free to email me. We are also planning a town hall meeting to be held in the near future. A few personal facts about me. My number one job in life is raising two amazing boys.
Aw.
In addition, yep, got to get them kudos. You know what I mean, dude? Uh, in addition to parenthood, a typical week for me includes finding time for daily yoga and prayer, and of course, play video games. Big Diablo 4 fan over here. Throughout the joy I find in games and working with those who make them only deepens. I remain inspired by Blizzard's iconic legacy and transformative role gaming as played in my life and in lives of others. I cannot wait to get going, to listen, to learn, to empower, and to collaborate with all of you in our bold and bright future together. Together, may we forge many legendary days ahead. Are you laughing
Dude,
hard, dummy?
I can't get over that. I'm just like, oh, that's so adorable. She likes her two boys, right? Like talk about family. You're just like, yeah, get those kudos in, yeah. Oh, that
I mean,
killed
like,
me.
I don't
'cause
know,
you're
man.
not wrong. I mean, it's just funny.
Yeah. Let me. Okay, I gotta address it now, right? Because it's obviously ridiculous. That says more about me. I am jaded because I've seen corporate culture do this,
Mm.
and it's like, bro,
Oh man.
I don't know you. You're my CEO. You're my president. Like I respect what you're trying to do in the company, but at the end of the day, man, I'm trying to have a positive work-life balance. Trying to make that money and go home and enjoy the rest of my day.
That sentence,
So,
dude. That sentence.
oh,
The news of my
re-
appointment may no doubt bring up a range of reactions, questions, and even concerns. See, I don't know the background, so I read that and I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, I just don't know. Like,
oh,
it's
buddy,
like,
I
what is
got
going
you.
on?
All
See,
right,
Mike
my
knows.
doggo is getting all excited right now. I'll give you the breakdown. There are many concerns.
Okay.
First and foremost, mentioning that she loves Diablo 4 is going to upset a lot of
Oh,
Activision
okay.
Blizzard fans, people that are Diablo fans, because like I'm a casual when it comes to Diablo.
Hmm.
I think it's a good game. It's kind of a grind fest. But when you talk to somebody that's like in love with Diablo and plays all the time, they kind of hate it. They think it sucks. They think like you
Yeah.
can't progress properly. It's like it's just fundamentally a broken game. And I
Yeah.
get that because
Okay.
that's how I feel with Halo. Like I know a lot about Halo. I know
Yeah.
what it could be. Oh my gosh.
I don't
See
even
this?
hear him, dude. That mic is cutting out so hard. I don't even like. It's cutting out for him. Like you sound great, but then he barks and you just hear. Oh. Like, that's all
Oh,
you hear.
dude. He's full-fledged
Full
insane.
tilt.
Oh,
See,
wait.
he knows the gravity
We're
of the
good.
situation, Mike. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
he's as heated as I am now. So to try to wrap up the point I want to make is Johanna,
Yeah, Joanna.
I really Joanna.
I would say
I don't want to be wrong. I want to show her respect because she deserves it. But she spent 12 years at the NFL as basically in business administration stuff. Maybe a little bit of marketing. I don't know the
interesting.
full thing. I can't remember the full thing. But she joined Activision Blizzard in 2018. And in 2020, do you know what started for Call of Duty?
The
Just
CDL.
the CDL, the franchise league.
Whose
And
idea was
I
that?
yeah, it's obviously I don't know if it's her idea, but obviously they hired her for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, makes sense.
What's the biggest league in the freaking world? The NFL. I know it's really should be soccer or the MLS or something like that, but at the end of the day, it's
DPL, La Liga,
yeah.
something.
So the problem is that the CDL will never work. It's a franchise league. You
Yeah.
have to pay an insane amount of money. The developers keep the money. They don't really distribute it. It's the same thing that happened with the Overwatch League, also run by Activision Blizzard. It's like I know she had some like say in that too, right?
Yeah.
That's why that
Surely.
statement's there. It's like I know this might be an issue. It might raise complications, have reactions and questions. It's like no duh, because there hasn't been very many good choices made in terms of esports for Activision Blizzard games.
Yeah.
And that was your last like hurrah. Then you went to a general manager role and now you're overseeing Blizzard? Like, what?
Yeah. I
it,
mean,
it
when you
brings a
put
lot
it,
of
yeah,
questions. How does that work?
yeah, when you
How
put
does
it
that
that
work?
way, yeah. How does that work? I could see where the reactions, the questions, or even concerns could apply here after you explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in an unrelated note, I did watch a YouTube video about how uh, it's how money works is the YouTube channel,
Okay.
and it came out today, the time of the recording, and the title of it was how CEOs keep failing upwards,
Okay.
and it was just about how CEOs who seem to be incompetent are in their roles for 2 to 3 years, they get fired, they get pushed out by board of directors, investors, something like that, and then they get pushed into a new role making more money for a different company.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully, this is the change Activision Blizzard needs,
Yeah.
and we can give her the benefit of the doubt. But I'm,
Man,
yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, my view of Activision Blizzard has changed so drastically over the past few years, just between like all of like all the allegations against the company of like sexual
yeah,
harassment and whatnot. Like that whole thing happened, and then you have people describing the crunch culture and how bad it is there.
yeah,
I'm sure you've talked about Pirate Software a little bit on the show, but
yep,
like I've been seeing a lot of his shorts, and he was a former employee there. And he described it as like, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of crunch, a lot of great people that work there, but yeah, a lot of just like long hours. That's kind of especially in like testing and stuff like that. It's a lot of long hours. So
yep.
it's like it's hard for me. Like when I see Activision Blizzard, it's like, like now that I'm where I am now, especially in like career and whatnot, like I would not want to work for a company like Activision Blizzard because it just
Oh
seems like diminishing returns and just not enjoyable.
no,
Like granted, you're making great products. Don't get me wrong. I think there's probably, and the long hours probably attest to how great some of their games are, but I don't know, man. It's just like I
yeah,
just feel like quality of life stuff. It's like I just don't know how worth it would be. So yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
It's crazy to me.
I think what we should at least say is that she's coming in being very optimistic, which I mean, you should, and
Yeah,
having an open forum where maybe there's some employees there that haven't felt confident enough to talk to leadership about certain problems that they see, or not even problems, just like ideas they want to like spitball. Is like this could be an opportunity to go talk to the president,
yeah,
and like this could be a real shot for you, like I guess a rebrand in a way.
right.
Um, we'll see how it pans out. Really, I mean,
So, but listen, how fast do you think there's gonna be if things start going awry? How fast do you think until there's like a players only meeting of employees? I'm just like, all right, listen, we need to talk. What's going on here?
oh man, if it goes that south, I think people just get up and leave.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. It
Yeah,
probably won't get that bad, but yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you go in with positivity, right? That's the best way to kind of go about things. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
would say I'm cautiously optimistic, but
yeah, of course. I mean,
I'm not even optimistic to be honest. I'm just cautious.
yeah,
just,
that's fair. Yep.
just how about
I
this?
mean, after you, what do you?
Don't make it worse because it's
Yeah.
really bad, right? Just don't make it
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, I would agree. That's the goal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, after all you described, we'll see. I'm definitely not. I'm more cautious. So we'll say that. Leave it at that.
yeah.
Good luck.
But
Good luck,
let's not.
Joanna. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Congratulations on the promotion, though. This is, I mean, it's a
Yeah,
great opportunity.
nice movement.
So
You know.
I'm sure that's going to make you more invigorated, and obviously, like you're at the helm now. You can do whatever you want.
GG's.
And
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck. Seriously. Turn
Save,
it around.
What's something that needs to be saved? There, I don't know. Is there a game
I
that
think it
needs
needs
to
to
be
be
saved?
saved. Yeah.
I don't know.
Overwatch League's gone. Call of Duty League's about to be gone. Like, yeah, fix it.
We got to talk
But
about something sick that happened today.
Yes. Let's talk about something good.
Oh, man. Oh, Mike. Guess what? There was a PlayStation State of Play today.
Yes, there was.
Well, a lot of
Give us
reveals.
the breakdown, brother.
A lot of reveals. I know you didn't get a chance to see it, so I'll kind of run you through the cliff notes. Try not to spend too much time on it, but there was a couple of bangers that came out of this little showcase today. I think I mean, we could just kind of go down the list. I mean, there was a lot of like VR stuff that looked pretty interesting. Well, there was a Metro VR game, different from like
Metroid Prime.
No, Metro is in like Metro Exodus 2033. Like, that series.
Oh yeah,
there's like a VR game coming out for the Metro universe, which I thought was pretty cool. There's that kind of stuff. I think there was Sonic Shadow Generations, which looks pretty cool. It looked like a Sonic game, but then like Shadow comes in, you're like playing a Shadow, you're jumping around, you're like doing a bunch of stuff. Like I think a lot of, and I feel like a lot of people, especially in the Sonic universe, probably want like a Shadow, related game. So there's that. Very cool stuff there. Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver is doing a collaboration, Mike. You want to guess what the collaboration is? You're never going to guess it, I'm just saying.
Dave the Diver. I don't even know what Dave the Diver is.
It's an interesting kind of indie game. I think that kind of popped off, has a cool following. But they're releasing it says it here in the text, but yeah, there is a
oh my gosh,
collaboration.
How? What?
The one and only Godzilla.
That's so awesome.
Dude, it looks so sick. But yeah, Godzilla is in Dave the Diver. And it's so funny. It's like Dave the Diver, Godzilla. May 24. It's kind of wild. Yeah, I thought it was very cool. It's like a smaller kind of indie game, but again, a lot of people love it, so it's kind of cool to see that. There's two games that really kind of caught my eye and we'll talk about. The biggest one that caught my eye was Judas. This is a game made by the same people that made BioShock. And you're going to see gameplay of this, Mike. When you see gameplay of this, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's BioShock. Like, it looks a lot of that. They definitely, like, you could tell it was made by people who very much were BioShock. I mean, you see the gameplay, it's the movement and everything, the perspectives. I mean, it's another BioShock. Like, the universe looks kind of sick.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I
can actually... They do have that signature style, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Is it in the same universe?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's completely different. But yeah, I mean, this is something I was like, dang, like, I kind of want to get a PlayStation at some point to check out games like this, because I think, like, especially next year, it's going to be like starting to see more like exclusives that'll be worth getting a console for. So, and yeah, I mean, now that the Slim's out and stuff like that, like, I can start looking in kind of more options. Kind of, that's something I would definitely want to like look into next year. Is like actually saying, okay, I think this 2025 may be the year I actually like, try and get this current generation, check out some of the exclusives. But yeah, very cool stuff. Metro Awakening, I talked a little bit about. It's just a Metro VR game. Looks pretty sick. I mean, it looks like a well done kind of VR experience. So, yeah, that game looked pretty cool. Just a couple other things. Until Dawn. Do you remember Until Dawn? It's a game that came out in like 2014, 15.
Yes, I do. It was actually on my list of games to play for pretty much forever. So now I feel like
they're remaking it in Unreal Engine 5 for PS5 and PC. It's supposed to be out later this year, so that may be a time to check it out because it'll be kind of remastered soon. Yeah, but great game. Funny enough, this is a game that I bonded with my college roommate over. We would watch. We watched Markiplier play through this game.
Oh,
and and he would release like a new episode every day, every other day. So that was the way we bonded, is we just like watched this. It was pretty dope. I have like fond memories of that. So I think,
oh my god,
yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, I actually. So the torture room with the giant buzzsaw, that was in the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember. I saw the same video. That was when Markiplier was like popping off on YouTube.
Yeah,
over horror games.
I mean, yeah, it's like kind of like when he was doing this playthrough, a lot of people were watching it. So, but yeah, it's one of those games. It's fun to watch because it's like very much like it's one of those games where choice is super important and changes the whole narrative by just minor things. So it's like you have to pick the right thing. I remember he got to one section where one of the characters he really liked ended up Like one of the characters, he was like he wanted to save and wanted to make sure they didn't die. He ended up killing him, and it was to the point where it like got to him so bad. Where at the end of the episode, he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go through and replay up to this point. I'm making sure she stays alive, and so he like delayed it a day or two just to replay it all the way off camera and like
That's
actually save
awesome.
her. It was so funny. I was like, yeah, it's like he was like dedicated. He's like, no man, I think she's awesome. I want to save her. So he literally went through and replayed it. It was so funny because he couldn't go back in the save. I think it just overwrote everything. So
Oh no.
yeah, it was bad.
So he said, "Screw it, I'm up."
So he's like, you know what? Nah, we're doing this right. It's like went back and did it. I thought it was funny. But one of the things that shocked me the most, and I was not expecting, especially after Hideo Kojima at the Game Awards was talking about a new IP that was completely different from like a lot of the stuff he did. He like hyped it up. He was with who was he with? What's his name? Jordan Peele.
Keel?
Is it Jordan?
No, Peele. Yeah.
Is it Jordan Peele? I think it was.
Yes. Yeah.
Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he did that thing with him. So I was like, oh, he's not like, I guess we're getting no Death Stranding 2. That's kind of upsetting. I would have seen kind of what they would like to do with the second sequel to that. However, the last thing they showed in today's showcase was a 9-minute like movie that Hideo Kojima edited of new Death Stranding footage. And so it's like,
awesome,
it's just like I don't know if like there's some gameplay mixed in, but it's mainly just like kind of selling kind of the story of the second game and what's all included with it. I like it makes me want to go back and see what happened in the first game, but essentially it's like it seems to be a lot of kind of the same mechanics and that premise of the first game is kind of, but it's just on a broader scale. So you're going to more places around the world and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, just the story and everything was like, it's just really well done. Like Troy Baker, he's like one of the main villains. He's this guy right here. He has this electric kind of guitar like weapon where he's like shocking people when he plays it, and then it's like a blade too. It looks so sick. Like I'm just seeing this, and like he plays such a good villain too. Like I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like this guy, and I think he just does it so well. So it's like,
nice.
But yeah, like, and there's this little dude. This is so funny, and this is so Hideo Kojima. But there is a little like doll that your character is gonna have, and he has his own personality, and he is so funny. And I'm just like, I want to play this game just to interact with this little doll because it reminds me of the head in God of War.
Oh
like
yeah, God of War. Yeah,
it's kind of like that, but except it's like a little doll, and he's sentient. It's so funny. But yeah, I mean, it's Hideo Kojima things. But like, yeah, he just has a sense of humor and everything.
Oh wow, look at him. Yeah,
yeah. So he has like little animations, like he has little like 12 frame like animations, so it's like different from the game. It's pretty sick. But yeah, like I don't know, it's really funny. Like I was just watching this and I was like, this is like something I want to see more of, and I may want. It's one of those games where like I don't know if I'll play it, but I definitely want to catch like a stream of someone playing it and just see like how the story plays out because it looks entertaining. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Because like this is like we heard about different IP. We're like, oh, I guess no more Death Stranding, and then Hideo drops this, and
right
it's like,
away.
oh,
yeah.
Okay, we do have a second game, and then on top of that, the real banger, Mike. Actually, before we get to that, Silent Hill 2 got a little kind of more gameplay, kind of small gameplay preview. There was also another Silent Hill game. I don't know how long it is, but it's available today to download on the PlayStation. And
free to play.
It's free to play.
Pretty cool.
So it's kind of like, day and date thing. Check it out if you have a PlayStation. That was pretty cool. Kind of see a little more about that. But at the very end, Hideo Kojima also disclosed with kind of the president of PlayStation that they are going to be working on, or they have kind of started the early stages of a brand new original IP that is technical espionage that is coming out. There's going to be in the works after Death Stranding 2 launches. So it's like,
ooh,
we're good. And he was saying like, he's coming up on 40 years in video game development.
Yeah,
like,
he's been there for a while.
Been there, but he's one of the OGs, right? So like he was saying that like this is gonna be like could be like a crowning achievement for him. I almost like to think that it may be like a magnum opus kind of thing where he's like trying to go all out and make something crazy. So it's like, I don't know, that got me hyped. So it's like, and I think it got a lot of people hyped of like, all right, after Death Stranding 2, we're gonna get back into like the get back into like the Snake-esque, like let's get this Metal Gear Solid kind of thing going. So obviously different IP and whatnot, but yeah, exciting because I think he's gonna try and go something all out. But it's so funny too because I see comments of like people, and I totally agree. It's like, so you're telling me like Hideo has his hand in 3 like bangers right now of games? Like there's 3 different titles he's working on. Like it's kind of wild. But,
that is very impressive.
yeah.
So good for him, man. It's always good to see him come up on stage and like talk about a new game because you can just see the passion,
Yeah.
and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you really can. And yeah, there was some pretty cool stuff that came out today. Helldivers 2, I think got some got a little trailer. It's coming out pretty soon. Um
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, outside of outside of that, I mean,
Helldivers 2 looks like a Halo ODS slash Star Wars game.
yeah. Yeah.
But third person. It looks really good. The other one, Helldivers 1, I think was top down. So this is gonna be
Oh
the
yeah.
first third person view
Yeah.
in
Oh
the
yeah.
series, which is gonna be nice.
Yeah. Very cool. Um yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, I think today's state of play was pretty dope, and I think looking at like Death Stranding 2 and Judas, like, those are two games that I'm genuinely interested in and to hear more about and see more. So, yeah, hopefully. And the only problem was like I think a lot of these games, it's like Death Stranding 2 got like 2025 as a release window. And Judas, I don't even think Judas had a release date, which is kind of upsetting because I was like curious of when something like that would come out, which makes you think if you don't, because this is the thing, like, and this may not be the case, but like, immediately when I think I don't see a release date, I'm like, okay, maybe next year, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'd be,
true.
it'd be a pleasant surprise if it was kind of the same year, like this year, but yeah, when I don't see that, I'm like, probably next year then. So kind of unfortunate, but nonetheless, they still look. A lot of great games were shown, so I think it was an overall great state of play, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's really good to see the progression of topics that we cover and seeing kind of the fruits of other people's labor when they finally get to that stage where they can release a trailer. For example, with Judas in particular, the BioShock creator Ken Levine? Yeah,
Yeah,
Levine's new studio. He like we covered that article when he left and his kind of like going away uh letter
yeah,
and what he planned on doing with the new studio. So it's really cool to see. It's like this is going to be their first title for his new
yeah,
studio. It's very exciting. So
yeah, and yeah. Let me tell you, man, looks great. The introduction, I think the introduction was pretty cool. Um, of kind of like of like kind of what this game's about, because it's like someone talking about like adjusting someone's programming and like exposing the truth kind of thing. So it's kind of
yeah,
interesting to see how I'm interested to see where the story goes. But yeah, overall it looks pretty sick. That was kind of my favorite, I think, from what we saw. And dude, it's
nice.
Bioshock, man. Look at that. Bioshock through and through, I feel like. So
It really is. Yeah, it looks like it.
um,
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty nice to see Rise of the Ronin gameplay too. Um, I don't think it's going to be as good as like Ghost of Tsushima,
oh yeah, yeah.
but nevertheless, it looks pretty nice. A lot of these games just look nice. I think PlayStation definitely has the exclusives. I feel like we mention that almost every episode when we talk about new games for the Xbox or PlayStation. It's like PlayStation got the exclusives, man. They know how to
You
build
do, man.
worlds. Looks nice.
They for sure do. Like I said, I'm still waiting for the day, we see the Game Pass for PlayStation and not like what they have now. But
Yeah, I mean, well, what did they do? Not too long ago, they announced that their games are going to start coming to PlayStation or to
PC.
PC.
Yeah. Which a lot of their titles I think are timed exclusives at this point, right? It's like it releases and
Yeah,
it's guaranteed to
yeah,
come on
it's
a PC
usually
at some point.
like yeah, like a year or two, 2 years at the latest. I think has
Yeah.
been kind of standard with the really popular titles.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. But yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, it's
I don't know.
just
I think we've heard rumors too of like there were something maybe that was like kind of they're trying to have a model like Game Pass at some point, but I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, it'll be nice to check out. So I guess that's it for this week's articles. And I think what we could kind of finish on is the usual. At the start of every month, we cover new game releases.
Think so.
And there's a lot in this list. And I think I'm just going to kind of go through the names of the games instead of just really jumping into all the different titles and like all the details for it. So to start off, the beginning of the month, pretty much the first week of the month, we have tons of games, man. First of all, we have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Then we have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which has been spoiled for me on Twitter, and people are upset. Oh
Oof.
my goodness. You've seen how
Oof.
many DC fans just want to destroy this game? I'm seeing
Mm.
like as much outrage over Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League as I did with Hogwarts Legacy. People are mad.
Oh man.
Uh,
Yikes.
yeah. Uh, Same day though. is Persona 3 Reload. Then there's Jujutsu. Kaizen Cursed Clash is also coming out the same day. A couple
Jujutsu
of days later.
Kaisen. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. A couple of days later, you got Foamsters, then Atomic Heart Trapped in Limbo. I believe that is a
Ooh, DLC. Yeah.
DLC. Yes,
Hey,
sir. And
yeah.
Atomic Heart's still on my list. I gotta get on my list,
It's
man.
on my list too. I need to. In fact, I may need to add that to my list. So yeah, that's something I want to check out.
Is Atomic Heart co-op?
Don't think so. I think single player.
Bummer. I need some co-op games like It Takes Two. I need It Takes Two too.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
That game was amazing.
Yeah, like the most recent co-op game I played was A Way Out, I think. So
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Maybe I should play that too. All right. Continuing on is Helldivers 2, which we talked about. The Inquisitor, which I don't think is a Star Wars reference. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
February 8th,
know.
release, PC and PS5, Xbox Series X. Let me double check that one just to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
The Inquisitor.
Yeah, okay, so Inquisitor is official game release. It is a dark fantasy adventure game with action elements. So, my bad. It is actually not
Interesting.
a Star Wars game. I do remember it though, nonetheless. I remember it being cool, but I don't know what that means, you know? Then you got Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. I'm excited for this one. February 13th. To remind you, it's the one where this guy is married to someone and his wife dies. She goes and becomes a ghost, but both of them are like ghost hunters slash demon hunters, and they end up working together to like destroy demons and like I guess put the world back together to banish them. I guess that's why it's called Banishers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting concept. The art style looks really cool. I think it can have some success. Anyways, on Valentine's Day, we're going to get some remasters for Tomb Raider 1 through 3. And then we come up to a game I don't believe exists, and I won't believe exists until it actually launches, is Skull and Bones. I'm about to die on this hill. This game is going to be...
People were playing it, Mike. People were playing it. Just saying.
Dude. Oh, man. All right.
This month's the month, baby. This month's the month.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Something cool happening is Mario versus Donkey Kong's coming out. That's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, only on the Switch. And I believe that's a remaster slash, like, what would you call it? Not a remaster, like revitalization of an old game. Like the classic Mario versus Donkey Kong. Pretty cool. Cool to see in the Mario movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you got Nightingale is at the end of the month. Pacific Drive, that's the one where you're a station wagon survival game where you have to upgrade your vehicle.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir. That one's going to be pretty good. Then you have Open Roads, and probably the one everybody's most excited for is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yep.
And
Which,
that is February 29th.
Sir. Which is actually, they detailed too at the end of the State of Play, that is going to get a dedicated showcase next week, I think on the 6th. So if anyone's interested in hearing more about that game, it's all revealed next week, baby.
Very, very good to know. Yeah, so I mean...
You're also telling me, though, that Tomb Raider 1 through 3 is getting remastered. I forgot about this, but I have a copy of Tomb Raider 3, I think, on this back shelf. And you're telling me it's useless because there's a better version on these newer consoles? Dang it.
Well, no, it's not useless because when the servers inevitably go down, you won't be able to play the remaster anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Can't get a disc of the remaster, huh?
Probably. Gotta put in that little asterisk, you know?
Yeah. You're right. Not worthless. You stay on the shelf.
Yes, sir.
It's actually in I think it's in a Blockbuster like VHS case. I got it at like a Dick's pawn shop. And they like had an old case that they was in for whatever reason. It's funny.
That's awesome.
It's
Dude,
like too big for the game.
I have an N64 cartridge in the living room. And it says property of Best Buy, and I'm like, it ain't now. Like,
I know. There's one disc I have in one of those cases. It's PS2 game, I think, that has, or maybe it's PS1, and it has like the Blockbuster property film on it, and like you can't take it off because like it's just like that thing is on there. Like, it's you can't. It's just nice. It's funny though. It's like an old kind of. It's like a meme at this point. It's like, oh, cool. It's mine now.
Nice. All right, man. I think we'll let the people go, really. I mean, that's all the articles we got for this week. We're getting into February already, dude. Kind of wild. And short month ahead, in a way. leap year. Gonna be a weird year.
It is a leap
but
year. Oh, dang.
yeah, it is. It is every 4
It's
years.
nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Last leap year was the last leap day was COVID, so don't remember.
Oh, don't even say that. Oh, what could have been of the year 2020?
It's
Could have been
dude,
such a great year.
I still think about that sometimes. Like how different could that year have been? And what would have been the trajectories of? Because we probably would have never met, dude. Think about it. We never met. Our boy Crazy Miller probably wouldn't be streaming as much. Who would not be in the streams? Probably us.
Yeah, that's a fact actually. Because I stopped going to Twitch for like a couple of years, and then I came back, and I was like, "Oh, Crazy Miller's playing. Oh, let's go check him out." I was like, my first thought was like, "This dude's been streaming for 6 years. What? He's still playing Halo 5?" So yeah, I got in there, and I was like, "All right." And then he made me mod, and then you were already mod, and I was like, "What in the world?" And look at us now. Now we're running a podcast, rambling about
2 years
the
deep.
Verge articles.
2 years deep talking about crap. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Well, I guess without further ado, let's let the people go. The usual situation. Thank you for watching, obviously. But if you want to read any of the articles that we posted, links are in the description below. Timestamps there as well. And yeah, just check out the YouTube. Follow us there because we post segments in case these hour-and-a-half long episodes, it seems, is too long for you. We condense them to topics we think you might like. And if you have preferences, let us know which ones you want to see.
True. Down below.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm Michael Lancy, Kyle Heath, and we'll catch you later. Thank you for tuning in.
Keep gaming, everyone.
Peace
Bye.
out. See ya. Game fast. Game often.